What is going on, guys? Brad here from Pickdawgz.com. Welcome to Brad's NFL Breakdown, the most profitable betting NFL show on YouTube. In this video series, I am going to cover every single NFL game and give you a pick. Unfortunately, this week will not include Thursday Night Football, but following this week, we will be including the Thursday night games. I don't want to keep you guys here forever, so we're going to go quick. I'm going to cover each game, give you the spark notes, give you the pick, and then move on to the next game. If you guys are looking to take the guesswork out of it, if you want to save your time and are immediately looking for the picks like the best, the picks like the most, including my $25 play of the day, which is my best pick every single day, head over to Pickdawgz.com, click the premium pick section, or just click the link in the description in this video. You will find all my plays there. Let's get right into the NFL action. First up, we are headed to Brazil for some Friday Night Football, and we're looking at this matchup between the Chiefs and the Chargers, and this is going to be a good one. Let's just hope those field conditions in Brazil are a little bit different this time. And for this game, it looks like the Chiefs are laying 3 points, and this is a tough one for me, man. I love hardball. I'm high on the Chargers this season, but I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to back the Chiefs after that embarrassing Super Bowl loss last season. The Chiefs have also owned the Chargers, winning their last 8 matchups between these two teams. Also, back to the field conditions, something to think about is the Chiefs are very used to playing on regular grass. I think that's something to think about, and ultimately, I think Kansas City is able to limit the Chargers on the ground, so I'm going to take the Chiefs, and I'm going to lay the 3 points. Next up, we are looking at this matchup between the Giants and the Commanders. The Commanders are laying 6.5 points while I'm recording this. Look, man, the Commanders are set up for a massive season, especially with JD5 under center. The Giants always play this Commanders team tough. We saw these teams play twice last season. The Commanders won the first game by 3 points, and they only won the second game by 5 points. I don't expect much from the Giants this season. I really don't, but I think they get better. I think they get better. Now that they have Russell Wilson at QB and Malik Neighbors has a full season under his belt, I feel like they only get better. So, look, guys, I think the Commanders win this game, but in a divisional rivalry game, I'm going to have to take the 6.5 points with the Giants in this one. Next up, we are looking at this matchup between the Bucs and the Falcons. The Bucs are currently laying just 2 points on the road in this game. You know, last season, we saw the Falcons actually beat the Bucs in both meetings they played in. Both games were actually pretty wild as well. So I think we're set up for a good one here. And look, I understand I'm wearing a Bucs hat, and you may think I'm biased, but I truly think this Bucs team takes that next step this season. Baker really showed out last season, and it sucks that, you know, McMillan and Godwin are going to miss time, but he still has Mike Evans. Bucky Irving is set to have a massive season, and Baker has that new shiny toy with the Buka as well. So I do expect this Bucs offense to cook this season. And on the other hand, there's still a lot of questions how Penix is going to look in the NFL. There is. It's week 1. There's still a lot of questions. And, you know, this is a Bucs team that has been known for their run defense. I don't think this is a game where Bijan Robinson is just going to be able to take control and go off. So I think this is a great spot for the Bucs to get revenge. They have it in their mind that this Falcons team beat them twice last season. I'm going to take the Bucs, and I'm going to lay the short number. Next up, we are looking at this matchup between the Panthers and the Jaguars. In this game, the Jaguars are currently laying 3.5. I think it's fair to say this is Trevor Lawrence's last chance before he's officially considered a bust, and, you know, the Jags may have to start looking at other options. I'm not as high on the Jags as other people are. I feel like every single year the people are saying, this is the Jags' year. They're going to be great. But I do think we see improvements from last year because they were really bad last year. But I do like the move they made, getting Liam Cohen. And on the other hand, I think we see improvements from the Panthers as well. You know, Bryce Young started to show signs of life at the end of the season. Now you give him a healthy Chuba Hubbard. You give him a stud wide receiver in Ted McMillan. For all my fantasy people out there, watch out for Bryce Young. I think he could put up some points. But when it comes to this game, guys, I think this one's a shootout. You know, I don't play totals often in the NFL, but I think this is a clear over spot for me. You know, the Panthers were dead last in rush defense last year. The Jags were dead last in passing defense last year. I think we see both these teams move the ball with ease. And overall, I'm going to have to take an over. Next up, we are looking at this matchup between the Dolphins and the Colts. In this one, the Colts are laying a 1.5. And man, I do not love the Colts this season. This team is going to be a fade for me. They just don't really seem to have an identity. I love Jonathan Taylor. I think he's a great player, but the fact that they're rolling with Daniel Jones just kind of tells me they're going to be inefficient through the air. We all know they're pretty bad on the defensive side of the ball, whereas, you know, on the other hand, a lot of people are writing this Dolphins team off. I do hear a lot of Dolphins slander. I know there's a lot of drama going on with Tyreek Hill. There's always the risk of Tua getting injured. A-Chain seems a little banged up, but if Tua can stay healthy, this is still one of the more electric offenses in the league, and it's also, you know, kind of a make or break year for Mike McDaniel. If they don't perform this season, I think he's out. So I think there's a lot of pressure on this Dolphins team, and overall, I don't think they're going to be that bad. Like I said, if Tua stays healthy, I think they're going to be a decent squad. They have the guys to do it, and for this one, I personally think the wrong team is favored. You could keep your 1.5. I'm going to take the Dolphins, and I'm going to take them on the money line. Next up, we are looking at this matchup between the Raiders and the Patriots. The Patriots are currently laying 2.5 points in this one. And look, man, this is probably one of the tougher games to handicap for this week 1 slate. We just don't really know how these teams are going to look. You got Pete Carroll at head coach for the Raiders, and you got Mike Vrabel at head coach for the Patriots. I just think there's a lot of questions with these teams, but I will say I am a little bit higher on the Raiders and the Patriots this season. I think Geno Smith is more proven than Drake May. I truly think Ashton Jeanty is going to be an absolute dog in this league. And I mean, the Raiders have arguably the best tight end in the league in Brock Bowers. So I think this offense is set up pretty well. The Raiders are going to struggle on the defensive side of the ball. We know that. Yes, they do have Max Crosby, but there's not much else surrounding him. But at the end of the day, guys, if you're going to give me this Raiders team and 2.5 points, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. I do think this Raiders team can make some noise if they are able to figure their troubles out on defense. So for this game, guys, I'm going to take the points with the Raiders. Next up, we are looking at this matchup between the Steelers and the Jets. The Steelers are currently laying 2.5 points in this game. This is an interesting one. We got Aaron Rodgers against his old team and Justin Fields against his old team as well. And look, man, you know, after what I saw from Aaron Rodgers this season, I'm done with him. I'm done with him. Look, is he one of the best QBs to ever play the sport of football? Yes. Yes, he is. But at this point of his career, he kind of reminds me of like a saggy sandwich that you'd find at the bottom of a lunchbox that's like 2 weeks old. You know what I'm saying? The man is washed up. That could have been a terrible analogy, but I think you guys understand what I'm saying. And then on the other hand, you got the Jets, and I feel like no matter who they put out there at quarterback, they're going to fail, and they're going to look ugly. So Justin Fields, I'm sorry that you have to play with the Jets. I do wish the best for you. But I'm not going to overthink this one, guys. I think this game is going to be disgusting. Both these teams kind of pride themselves on having a defensive culture. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under. I'm not going to overthink it. I really don't want to back either of these squads. So give me the under in this one. Next up, we are looking at this matchup between the Bengals and the Browns. Bengals are currently laying 4.5 points on the road in this game. If you guys don't remember, the Bengals lost week 1 last season to the Patriots. It was one of the bigger upsets of the season last year. But I don't see that happening again in this one. Look, the Bengals are going to be elite on offense. There's no doubt about it. They have Jamar Chase, arguably the best wide receiver in the league. They bring back Higgins. Look for them to implement a guy like Chase Brown in this offense as well. The question for the Bengals all season long is going to be their defense. And look, I think their defense is going to be shit. It's going to give them a lot of problems this season, but in this matchup, they're going against the Browns. They're going against the Browns, and look, the Browns don't have much to desire on the offensive side of the ball, and I just don't see how the Browns keep up in this game. I really don't. The Browns are probably going to try to make this one ugly, going to try to kind of keep the ball away from the Bengals, but I just don't see how the Browns win this game. It is the week 1 curse for the Bengals. You know, who knows? Who knows? Week 1, crazy things happen, but I think the week 1 curse ends for the Bengals in this one. I'm going to take the Bengals, and I'm going to lay the points as well. Next up, we are looking at this matchup between the Cardinals and the Saints. The Cardinals are currently laying 6.5 points in this game. I think it's fair to say unanimously that the Saints are probably coming into the season as the worst team in the league. You know, as a Bucs fan, that makes me very, very happy. And, you know, the Cardinals, on the other hand, a team that has been underwhelming. I'll use that word, underwhelming the last couple seasons, to say the least. I do think the connection between Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. does get better. I think Trey McBride continues to get better as well. James Conner is a great back. So, you know, this is a Cardinals team that has very solid pieces. You look at this team on paper and you would be confused why they haven't been able to put it together. But, I mean, that's been the case. They just really haven't been able to figure it out. But I do like them against the Saints in this one. I'm going to be on the Cards. You know, I know this is a lot of points to lay with Arizona on the road, but I just can't take the Saints week one. You know, maybe if we see a couple weeks of the Saints and they're actually not a bad squad, we could be on them. But in week one, I'm going to have to lean Cards. Probably going to be a stay away game for me. Probably one of my more least favorite games on week one slate. But if I had to go away, I'm going to take the Cards and I'm going to lay the points. Alrighty, next up, we are looking at this matchup between the Niners and the Seahawks. The Niners are currently laying 2.5 points in this game. You know, we saw these teams split last season with the Niners winning game 1 and Seattle winning game 2. And look, man, I think there's a lot of questions with both these squads. With the Seahawks, you know, you move on from the Geno Smith era. They bring in Sam Darnold, who looked great last season. They have a great wide receiver in JSN. They have a solid running back duo in Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. They bring in a guy like Cooper Kupp. So there's a lot of new pieces. It's going to be a new look team. But overall, I think there's a lot to be excited about with the Seahawks. It's just how quickly could this new team gel together? And then, you know, on the other hand, for the Niners, no Debo. Of course, he moved on. No Ayuk. He's going to be injured for the first part of the season. But of course, you do have Kittle and McCaffrey. But I just feel like missing those two guys, Ayuk and Debo, it's going to take some time for Brock Purdy to figure things out. So, like I said, this is a tough game that I've went back and forth on. You know, if you ask me who wins the NFC West, if there's a gun in my head, I would probably still say the Niners. You know, probably the Niners or the Rams. But for this game, man, in a game that I feel like there's a lot of questions, probably a game I'm just going to sit back, watch, and get intel on these two teams before I start betting on them. I'd rather have the home team and a couple points in my back pocket. So it's going to be a lead for me, guys, but I'm going to take the Seahawks and I'm going to take the 2.5 points. Next up, we are looking at this matchup between the Titans and the Broncos. The Broncos are laying 7.5 points in this game. And, you know, the Broncos are kind of like the hype train team of this season. A lot of people are in love with this squad. A lot of people are in love with Bo Nix. And I think the Broncos are going to be solid. I think they are going to be good, but I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit. You know, the sophomore slump is real. It happened to CJ Stroud and the Texans last season. Would anyone be surprised if the sophomore slump happened to Bo Nix? It's possible. It's possible. So, look, like I said, I think the Broncos are going to be good, but let's just pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes. On the other hand, the Cam Ward era starts for the Titans. And even though I think Cam Ward will have success in the NFL, I think the Titans are going to struggle this season. You know, let's be real. There's still a lot of pieces on this team that are missing. They were by far the worst team in the NFL last year. And for this one, I think they're going to have a real tough time in Denver. This will not only be Cam Ward's first NFL game, but it'll be on the road. It'll be at elevation in Colorado. It'll be at a very hostile environment, and he's going against one of the best defenses in the NFL. This is a terrible way to start off your NFL career. So for this one, I'm going to attack this one a little bit different. I'm going to go Titans team total under 16.5. I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans score less than 10 points in this game, to be perfectly honest with you. Alrighty, guys, next up, we got this matchup between the Lions and the Packers. This is going to be a good one. While I'm recording this, the Packers are currently laying 2.5 points. It's going to be interesting to see how this Lions team looks without Ben Johnson. They also lost their defensive coordinator as well, but I feel like losing Ben Johnson is going to have more of an impact. I think the Lions are still really going to have a solid team, but it's kind of hard to believe that that offense doesn't take a bit of a hit there. Also for this game, I think we need to mention that Aleem McNeil is not going to play in this one. That definitely hurts on the defensive side of the ball. So some things to think about when looking at the lines in this game. Of course, for the Packers, the big news, you add a guy like Micah Parsons to that defense. He is banged up. I'm curious to see how much play time he's going to get in this game. The Packers also beefed up their O-line. I kind of went back and forth in this game, and after saying all that, you guys probably think I'm on the Packers, but if I had to bet this game, I would actually lean the Lions in the points. I just truly think this is going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a coin flip type of game where either squad could win, and in that matchup, I'd rather have points in my back pocket rather than having to lay points. I could easily see this being a Packers 1 point, 2 point win, and the Lions still getting a cover. So this is a game I'm probably just gonna sit back and watch. I don't know if I'm gonna bet this one, but if I were to, I'll probably take the points with the Lions. Next up, we are looking at this matchup between the Rams and the Texans. The Texans are coming off a very disappointing season. I think it's fair that the sophomore slump hit CJ Stroud pretty hard, but look, I think they only get better this season. You got year 3 Stroud. A healthy Nico Collins is back in action, in my opinion. That's the top 5 wide receiver in the league. They also have a solid defense. So, I think the Texans are a team to watch out for this season, but in week 1, this is not an easy matchup. They're going against an always consistent LA Rams. Stafford has been dealing with those back injuries, but it does look like he's going to be a full go in this one. And the Rams are another team that I'm high on. I love them bringing a guy in like Devontae Adams into Sean McVay's system. He always knows how to get the best out of his wide receivers. They still have Puka. I expect Stafford, even with these injuries that he's been having, the fact that he has these 2 weapons on both sides of him, I do expect another big season for Stafford. And at the end of the day, I will be taking the Rams in this game. I think the Rams defensive line is going to give the Texans O-line a lot of problems. The interior defensive line for this Rams team is filthy. They got the 2 Florida State boys in there, Jared Verse, and for some reason I'm forgetting the other one's name, but I think that's going to be the difference maker in this game. Like I said, I think the Texans get better this season, but week 1, I think this is a Rams spot. Give me the Rams and lay the points. Next up, we are looking at this matchup between the Ravens and the Bills. What a game we have here. This one is going to be cinema, guys. Both these teams are looking to get over that hump, and my prediction is one of these teams are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not sure which one, but gun in my head, I think either the Ravens or the Bills get over that hump and win the Super Bowl this season. And when you look at these teams from a roster perspective, when you look at this game specifically, I do think the Ravens are the better team. I really do. When you look at this from a lineup perspective, I truly think Lamar Jackson is probably the best football player on planet Earth right now. I will say that. If I had to pick a football player to be on my team and I had the number 1 pick, I'm picking Lamar Jackson. The only thing about this game is this game's in Buffalo. This game is in Buffalo. That crowd is going to be insane. It's going to be a difference maker. We saw this game open up with the Bills laying a 0.5 point. Now it's totally flopped. Now the Ravens are laying a 1.5. Sorry, not 0.5 point. 1.5 I meant to say. Now the Ravens are laying points in this one, and I think it kind of tells you what you need to know, and I am going to be on Baltimore here. I do expect Baltimore to have a lot of success on the ground. I think their offense is just a bit more dynamic. I do like their defense a bit more too. The only edge I would give, Buffalo is that home field advantage, which is big. It is big, but overall, that's just not enough for me. So I am going to side with the Ravens in this one. If you want to lay the 1.5, you can. I might just take them on the money line, though. Next up, we are headed to the last game of the night, and we are headed to some Monday Night Football where we got this matchup between the Bears and the Vikings going at it. The Vikings are currently laying a 1.5 in this one, and look, man, the question for the Bears this season is, are they actually going to figure it out on the offensive side of the ball? I'm damn near 30 years old, and I feel like my whole life the Bears just have been terrible on offense. But, I mean, this team is loaded with talent. They're loaded with talent, and they bring in an offensive genius like Ben Johnson to coach this team. If the Bears offense can't figure it out this season, they just might be cursed, and they might just be a lost cause, to be perfectly honest with you. This is the first time we will be seeing J.J. McCarthy under center for the Vikings in a real NFL game. I did like how they brought in Adam Thielen, kind of give him some veteran presence in that room. And, you know, the Vikings running back room is also very deep. They're very deep. They have a good offensive line. So I do think this transition for McCarthy will be pretty smooth when it comes to a rookie quarterback perspective. But, I mean, there's still a lot of unknowns about him. And for this one, man, I am going to take a shot with the Bears. I do think Ben Johnson is going to be a difference maker for this team. This Bears offense did look pretty damn good in preseason. I'd rather have Caleb Williams than J.J. McCarthy, to be perfectly honest with you. And let's be real, guys. You know, this Vikings team, this Vikings culture has tended to kind of choke in these big primetime games. So, Bears at home, you're going to give me a 1.5. I'll take it. You can take them on the money line as well. I think it's a nice Bear spot. That is going to do it, guys. I appreciate you watching this. We just went through every single game of the Week 1 slate. Like I said, next week's video, I'm going to try to get Thursday night's game in, and I'm just going to try to make these videos as best as possible. So drop in the comments what you thought about it. Drop in the comments what your favorite play is for this NFL slate. I know some of you guys are going to disagree with me. That's cool as well. No worries. And check out my $25 play of the day. Like I said, that is my best pick every single day. We will have one every Sunday, every Thursday, every Monday. So if you want my best NFL pick every day that there is NFL, click the link in the description in this video. You will find all my plays there. Use promo code PICK at checkout for 15% off. I appreciate you guys watching this. I'll catch you on the next one.